In the last episodes, I outlined how understanding ourselves can help connect us with horses and all life. I spoke about the importance of presence. I introduced the concept of living in two worlds at the same time. And I gave you some powerful exercises to use in your daily life. In this episode, I'll talk about how to step out of our stories, how to heal trauma, and how to listen to our authentic voices. These are all secrets horses can lead us to. Life isn't just about feeling good, right? It's about service and struggle and pain, too. Yes, absolutely. We live in duality. World B is all about that. In order to explain this better, let's think about spectrums. One of the stories we believe in World B is about spectrums. A spectrum is a way to classify beliefs from one extreme to another. It's a way we've created to explain what we see and to describe what we want to do or not do. It can be a way to organize our thoughts. In politics, we have a spectrum of political beliefs, from left to right. We can construct spectrums for our opinions on just about anything. Along each spectrum fall all of the different beliefs about a subject. Generally, we want people to move from the side of violence to peace, from trauma to healing, from fear to love, from bad to good. The problem is, we usually think we're right, and others need to change their beliefs. Wherever we are on the spectrum, we're probably going to believe that our beliefs are the correct ones, or the truth, and that others aren't quite as right. Imagine a spectrum for any topic you want. So think of something you're passionate about. What does a spectrum look like for that? Here are some examples of spectrums that we could consider. Oppression. On one end, some people believe it's okay to oppress others based on characteristics such as gender, or skin color, age, etc. On the other end, people believe it's never acceptable. Climate change. On one end, people don't believe it's happening, and that they don't think that we need to change our actions as a result of it. On the other end, people believe it's happening, and that humanity needs to drastically change to survive. Vaccines. On one end, people think they're dangerous. On the other end, people think they're life-saving. Pollution. On one end, people believe the earth is here to serve us. Its resources are for us to use and dispose of in whatever way we like. On the other end, people believe we should leave as little trace as possible, consuming the bare minimum and producing zero waste. Law enforcement reform. On one end, people believe law enforcement should be stronger. On the other end, people believe law enforcement should be defunded and the resources used in other ways to help prevent crime. Homelessness. On one end, people believe that if a person can't or won't work or pay bills or fit in with society, it's okay for that person to not have a safe, sanitary place to live and healthy food to eat. On the other end, people believe that every human should have a safe, sanitary place to live and healthy food to eat, regardless of whether they conform to the rules or not. Trafficking. On one end, people believe it's okay to do whatever you want with the bodies and minds of certain humans. On the other end, there is no justifiable reason to manipulate another person to do what you want. There are other ways to articulate any spectrum. Define it however you want. The details aren't that important. Whatever you say or think or believe is part of that spectrum, part of the paradigm that we want to shift. Stepping off the spectrum would be letting go, if only for a moment, of the words, the concepts, turning our awareness to World A. In World B, we can so easily get caught in thinking we're talking about the same or different things based on the words we use. Stepping off the spectrum is letting go of words and even what side we're on, and tuning into the harmony of the moment, behind the words, in a place where there's nothing to defend. World A. People who are able to step out of these stories are the kind of people that you love being around. You can really feel that safety and acceptance of who you are. These are fundamental skills for getting along in a crowded world with many different beliefs. But is it really better than what we're already doing? Isn't it more important or effective to keep fighting for what we believe in? How could letting go of our beliefs be beneficial? How can we know? Let's examine our beliefs about horses in terms of a spectrum. Now, since I haven't met you, I have no idea what you think about them. So, I'll start by giving some possibilities. On one end of the spectrum, we have people who believe that horses are here to serve us, whether we eat them or train them. On the other end of the spectrum are people who believe that horses are here for their own reasons, that we may know nothing about. These people advocate for the unleashing or rewilding of horses, for allowing horses as much as possible to make their own decisions, including whether or not they would like to be with humans. In the middle lie billions of different interpretations of the best ways to spend time with horses. In the 1980s, the horse world saw a paradigm shift with the birth of something called natural horsemanship. And nearly everyone, from backyard horse owners to movie stars to the Queen of England, responded to this idea that horses didn't have to be broken with old military practices and cowboy attitudes of extreme brutality. It seemed to be the answer. It seemed to prove that the horses themselves were begging to be ridden. All the stars of natural horsemanship had their bridleless demonstrations, where they would seemingly invisibly control the horse's movements. As those who truly know themselves have come to learn, all light comes with a shadow. The shadow side of natural horsemanship is that even though practitioners say they're using the horse's language to teach her, the truth is they are using the same methods that have been used for centuries: restraint and reward. We're seeing conditioned behavior, not true consent. Natural horsemanship simply changed the training soundtrack to words that make it seem like we're the benevolent leaders that our horses have been waiting for. It did bring one real change. It proved our hearts are in the right place. We really do want to teach horses with love and good leadership. Now, we also have the opportunity to see how easily we're conditioned to tell a story where we're the heroes. The horse's version of this tale might sound very different. Well, there seems to be another shift in the consciousness surrounding ways to be with horses. Some people are moving into a more equal, free way of being with horses and other animals, simply because it feels like who they want to be. And others resist change because, well, they really believe their way is best. Some very well-educated people believe that typical uses of horses for riding and pulling aren't causing them pain or discomfort, or that if it is, it's necessary in order for the horse to do her job well. The two extremes seem to be make them do what we want or let them do what they want. Often people will believe both, depending on the horse. The belief may be that the horses we own should do what we want, and wild horses should be allowed to do what they want. Or young and old horses should do what they want, but working age horses should earn their keep. Maybe the horse should do what I want when she has the bridle on, and do what she wants when it's not on. What's right? What's moral? What do I believe? As a horse owner and advocate for 38 years, at different times I have firmly believed most of the various ideas about what horses are here for, other than eating them. Although that's probably just because of my culture and my upbringing that I haven't become fond of horse meat. I used to excel at dressage and eventing. These are the modern equivalents of military training for horses and humans. We were taught to dress in certain uniforms and do patterns and train using techniques that we learned from watching our instructors. We learned to follow the human rules of competition all the way up to the Olympics. I've worked and played with horses in this country and abroad. I have researched and written articles full of scientific proof that one way of being with horses is less harmful to horses and humans than another. It has encouraged many people to stop riding horses, and at the same time, it has also caused a backlash of hate and ridicule. I've seen that spending time with horses in certain ways can speed up the process of our waking up, of integrating awareness into our daily activities. It gives us a way to learn the secrets they hold about living in the moment and being part of a herd, in tune with the rhythm of nature. They can also show us infinite ways to adapt, for the most part peacefully and gracefully, to whatever circumstances we find ourselves in. This has become the birth of what I call autonomous horsemanship. What is an autonomous relationship with a horse? And why would a person choose it? An autonomous relationship is one where each being has the right to make their own decisions. There must be no fear or pain or punishment for making a decision. Otherwise, we can't feel safe in the relationship. Halters and bridles and ropes, they work by causing discomfort and pain. They have the effect of redirecting a horse's movements from what she would freely choose to do. So my question is, can we truly know a horse if we don't allow her free choice? If we don't respect her decisions? Other ways of spending time with horses overwhelmingly involve the horse being held with ropes or physically or emotionally manipulated in some manner. We're not looking to teach them how to move or tell them what to eat or control how much they exercise. We're looking to explore the depth of connection that we can have with them and to see what we can learn from them when they're not physically forced by us. We only use halters in exceptional circumstances where their well-being is threatened. By setting aside our past conditioning, we seek to meet individual horses, to learn their ways of communicating to the best of our abilities, and to co-create with them as equal partners, a harmonious living environment for a diverse range of plants, animals, and humans. Increasingly, people are working with horses from therapeutic, creative, and spiritual viewpoints. recognizing the wisdom of these noble creatures who invite us into their world and into their hearts. Horses can take us to a transformational space. They can bring out our latent potential. They can help us develop leadership skills in a very tangible, experiential way through observing and participating in the dynamics of the herd. Although this shifting paradigm is relevant at one level, there is a much more important, infinitely more important story that I want to share with you today. That is, if we truly don't want to harm others, whether it's a horse or a human, we need to be able to meet them where they are, to accept their truths and beliefs as valid as ours, and then get on to enjoying the moment, tuning into the deeper harmony we're all a part of as we find our way into the next moment. To do that, we need to be able to step out of our story and into what is. As I work with people from all parts of the spectrum, I find myself moving away from my old beliefs about the importance of moving along the spectrum, and instead embracing a new way of understanding. When we're in presence, in World A, we have the ability to see beyond whatever story we're telling ourselves in a moment, and recognize the very real gifts and opportunities around us. This is what has the potential of uniting humanity with each other, with horses, with nature, and bringing about world peace. Bringing us together in all our weird, diverse glory, to remember what really makes us feel good, and to create our moments in harmony with that flow. Where can this take us? Be sure to watch the next episode to help us dream in the new world.